topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Shelby Wagner, host of Learning to Dance in the Rain. Welcome to my show. We started last week a discussion. Today, of course, we're going to continue navigating the maze of love. And love can be exciting and sometimes not so exciting. So bear with me. I want to do a little bit of a recap of last week's show when I had Pastor Carl Litchfield here, and I had some technical difficulties, but I listened to my own show later afterwards and found out a few other things. One of the main things that struck me was that the fact that there are there are several definitions of the word love, or we use the word love in a lot of different ways, and sometimes we may not understand what it means. The dictionary term, of course, was a warm feeling of attachment to another person, and so I think we're going to talk about that a little bit. Love is not always flowers and roses and candy, and like have Valentine's Day would like us to believe, and like some of the movies that we see would like us to believe. Sometimes it's tough. If you take some of the words that the Greek used for love, tough love. What's tough love? Well, sometimes we have to show some tough love to our children if they're not learning the right path, learning right from wrong, and they need to. Then sometimes tough love comes in there. Sometimes it's tough also. When we've been married, and maybe sometimes we disagree, and those are tough times too. But I was struck by the differences in the Greek when they explained what is love. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit here in the beginning. So one of course, meaning that everybody maybe associate with love is eros. And eros is the sexual passion or desire. And it was named after the Greek god of love and fertility. So eros is the sexual love. And then there's philia, which is a deep friendship or comrade with no sexual attraction. And that's philia, love. Sometimes if somebody says, I love you, how do we know whether they're meaning that first one, a sexual love, or maybe they're meaning the second one here, friendship love? Wow, how do we tell the difference? That's very interesting, and I hope we can talk about that a little bit later. The third one is ludus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the words right, but this is a playful affection between casual lovers or even between children. So ludus is the playful. Agape is love that extends to other people. We say we love our friends, okay? That would be the agape love. Pragma is a long-standing love, to mature, realistic love that develops over time between two people. And philautia is love of self, which the Greeks considered the healthiest form of love because it encompasses the idea that if one loves himself or one likes himself and loves himself, feels secure, then he has plenty of love to give to others. The idea that one cannot love oneself unless he or she, well, I've got this one wrong. There's an idea that says you can't love other people if you don't love yourself first, and that's a form of love. Aristotle recognized an unhealthy love, which is narcissism. And that's another topic that I want to get into a little bit later on. Um, I think maybe self-compassion maybe be a better definition of this self-love. Because some of us have trouble loving ourselves. We don't like the way we look. We don't like the way things happen to us, or we're sick all the time and we're very unhappy about that. I was, I've always looked towards the positive side. Tried to make lemonade whenever I get lemons. It's not easy to do. Sometimes I forget, but that's my major flaw, and that's why the philosophy of this whole series is dealing with life issues and keeping a positive mindset. There were two other types of love that were mentioned in my book: mania, which is an obsessive love, and that is an imbalance between the eros and the ludus love, and it really means neediness, needing. I need somebody else to make me feel better, and that is not true. And another one is the love that parents have for children, and that's called stored. When I was looking for the definition of love, I ran into a person who kept talking about, well, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And I wondered what the difference was. And I compared it with, to me, being in love with someone means they're also in love with you. And because when you say I love someone, if I'm in love with someone, it is always followed by with, and I think with denotes two people. So I'm not sure about this. Yes, you like somebody and they don't like you, but it's not healthy to be in love with someone that doesn't want to be in love with you. My brother once said to me when I was complaining because a man that I really liked on the internet dating website, I really wanted him to like me. And my brother laughed and looked at me and he said, why would you want to love somebody that doesn't love you? I mean, it doesn't make sense. And it's never going to make someone happy if that situation happens. I'd like to take a look at my screen. I have prepared some slides here. And navigating the maze of true love, part 2, because we talked about love last week. And that is the, I don't know if I can change these, or how do I get to the next one?
You just click the next one, number 2.
I'm sorry. I don't. All right. That's not it.
I can pull them up on my end if you'd like.
Okay, I forgot how to do it. Maybe I'm getting there.
Just let me know when to switch it.
Okay. I can. Okay. Yeah, then go ahead and flip it to the next one. So I'm in preparing for today's lesson. I found this beautiful picture. We've had a bad snowstorm in Michigan, and this one kind of reminded me of love because there's two people, two sides to the river. And how do you make that connection with each other? And so I've already talked about being a warm and gentle fondness, a feeling of fondness, a liking for someone. It's also sexual passion or desire. But you know what? 1 Corinthians 13 tells us some things, what love is. It's patient, it's kind, it always protects, always hopes, always perseveres, always trusts, and it always seeks the truth. But it does not envy someone else. It does not boast about, oh, I'm better than you are. It does not envy. It doesn't boast. It does not self-seeking. Is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongdoing, and it does not delight in evil. Wow. So we have a true love, biblical expression here of what true love really is. And I think that should be our goal, actually. Patient, yeah, okay. I mean, and self-seeking, it's not always wanting what we want. It's wanting to give the other person what they want in a lot of cases. So love is not only a bridge, but love is a giving of love rather than thinking all the time about what I'm receiving. And a lot of people are better at that than others. Does not, is not easily angered. Oh boy, I remember my husband and I having some difficulty. A lot of the times it was his meanings of certain words was different than my meaning of certain words. And in my book, I do talk about a few of the differences in the way men and women think. But so we would get into it because I thought he said such and such. And later on, I found out he didn't say it at all. Okay, but so the therapist that we went to said we both had short fuses and that we needed to be more patient with one another and listen more to each other. And one of the things I learned was to ask them when I said, well, I thought you said X, Y, Z. Did you really mean it X, Y, Z? Or did you mean it a different way? And that would give the other person a chance to explain what they really meant. But that was just kind of my thoughts and my way of doing it. Not easily angered. I think that happened maybe once every about 6 months, which wasn't too bad. It certainly wasn't every day. But keeping in mind that we're not easily angered. But the next one keeps no record of wrongdoing. How many times have you had a argument with somebody and a year later they come back to remind you about that? Well, you said such and such at that time. I think that's kind of an example of keeping record of wrongdoings, and it's better not to do that. It's better to forgive and forget and continue and go on with your life. I Another thing about self-love that I found. Let's see if I can find it. It's in my book. That if you're in a relationship, or even if you're not in there yet, if you're not receiving the love that you need or that you deserve, then you need to check your price tag. Perhaps you've marked yourself down. It's you that determines your worth by what you accept. And I think that is very true. One of the things a person really needs to know is what are my values? What are my boundaries? What can I accept? And what can I not? And then when I'm dating somebody, getting to know them, I kind of measure that person up to what it is that I want. Is this person the one I want to be with 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days? I mean, if there are things about that person that really bother you, then maybe you need to end that relationship and find someone else. One sentence that I read about 6 years ago when I started dating again, that I put on my refrigerator. It said, it's better to be single than it is to be in a bad relationship. And I reminded myself of that a lot during the time that I was single, and thinking, wishing that I had a partner again. I'd go out to restaurants and eat alone and look around and see other people having fun talking, with their partners or whatever. I was a little envious, yeah. I had that once. Went 50 years being part of a couple, and then all of a sudden, I was single. And another thing to help me is to stop thinking about being alone, and start thinking about I'm single. Just the sound of the two words, single and alone. Single sounds more uplifting. Being single sounds a swinging single, right? Like blondes have more fun. Well, maybe singles have more fun. So those two things. Maybe stop saying I'm alone and start thinking I'm single, and I have lots of prospects for fun and excitement, and that's what we want to be in our positive mindset. Okay, we can go to the next slide, I think. Rebel, are you there?
I am. I moved it.
Okay, so I think I covered that pretty well already. Let's go on. Yeah. I was very fascinated when Pastor said last week, laughingly, that dating is a lie. Weren't you? Wow. I'm single and I want a fun lifestyle, and I like to meet people and talk to people. And yeah, I'd like to date again. I don't want to date just anybody that's out there, but I want to date somebody who's interesting, and I might find enjoyment in being with that person. Maybe I'm attracted to them and maybe I'm not. But that's another story. But what he meant by dating is a lie. During that dating period, how do we behave? Most of the time we're on our best behavior, and we want that person to like us, and so we, we are on our best behavior. We do good things, and we do have bad habits, and the only way that you can find out what those bad habits are in the other person is by spending time with them. And if you do run into a bad habit, you have to analyze it and compare that with your values and what you want in a man or what you want in a woman. And if that quality is one that does not fit with your values and your boundaries, then you should look elsewhere. You have to it's a weight. You have to say, well, I put on a scale. Do I like the fact that he yells at me once in a while? Or on the other side, does that really hurt my feelings? And I just don't want to be around somebody who's going to be yelling at me all the time. You have to decide what you can put up with, I guess, and what you want. But dating, when the pastor said dating is a lie, I really thought, I wouldn't go that far to say it's a lie. But we do have to be careful. It does take time to find out if we really love someone. In the next slide, I believe one of the questions, the next slide. How do I know if I really love this person that I'm dating? And I wanted to talk about these because I think they give us good indications about it. And maybe you need to think about all of them. And so the first one that's on my list, you are addicted to that person and you want to be with him or her all the time. Oh, there we go. I just said about takes time being with somebody to really get to know whether you can live with those bad habits of that person or not. The next one is a really good one. You really want your friends and family to like him or her because you really like him or her, and you're thinking about maybe this is the one I want to be with forever. So you want your friends and family to like them. What happens if they don't? Well, that's a red flag, and you need to think about it. Really think about what that means. Sometimes the friends and family can be hurtful, and maybe they don't want you to have a relationship. So that's another part of it. But mainly, I think, if your friends and neighbors, friends and relatives see something, that's in there that might indicate you ought to think further about this problem, then I think that's a good indication. The next one, do you celebrate this person's triumphs, even when you yourself fail? That one, I think, comes in under that love in the Bible where it says, love does not envy. And so that's another thing. Can you accept the other person becoming maybe more popular or is more popular than you are, has more friends? Can you accept that? That's another one. But like if your friend got a promotion at work and you didn't, are you going to be sad and show your sadness because he's got a higher position than I do, or she's got a higher position than I do? Or are you going to say, wow, that's really good? If you think about, a marriage is a partnership, and we want to encourage our partnership and make them feel good. They are the other half of us. And so we celebrate their triumphs, even though maybe we haven't got any on our own. I know my husband kept saying, "Oh, everybody knows you. You're out playing the piano and singing and doing all these great things. And people always compliment you on them." And he says, I'm just me. Nobody ever compliments me on my progress or whatever. And, you know, that really was another conversation about the difference between men and women. But encourage your if you your partner has some good news, well, share that good news with them and celebrate. Let's go on to the next slide because we have another one. You are addicted to the person. You really want your friends and family to like him. You celebrate his triumphs. So what's the next one? The next slide, Grandpa. Or is it up?
Are we on?
Okay, there it is. You definitely like this person and they like you. Wow. How can you date somebody you don't like? Uh, that that really blows my mind, I guess. You really do have to like each other. And that word like is very deep. We're going to get into that subject a little bit later on in the future because I have an opinion about liking someone and loving someone, and we'll talk about that another time. Another one, do you really miss this person when you're apart? That's very good indication that you love them. Your sense of self, your sense of self has grown through knowing this person. I think being loving someone and being with them makes you a better person yourself. So if that is true, that the couple each is a better person because they are with their loved one, then that's a good one. Now this last one I had a little trouble with. You get jealous, but you're not suspicious. Well, what on earth does that mean? Do anybody out there listening have any ideas about that one? Can you be jealous and not suspicious? Jealous? I think true love. I don't think you are jealous, can be jealous. Well, it depends, I suppose, on how the other person is acting. That goes back to whether you like that person and you can accept them, But no, you might get a little jealous. You might think, well, I wish he didn't talk so friendly to her or something like that. But not suspicious because you love that person and you trust them. Can you trust them? That's another thing you have to decide. You get jealous, but you are not suspicious. Suspicious takes you down a path that you don't want to go. So, all right, how do I know if I really love them? I like them a lot. I miss them when we're not together. I'm a better person when I am with them. What was some of the other ones? Let me go back here. Addicted to the person? Well, I don't know if I'm addicted to them or not, but I really like to be with them all the time. And I want my friends and family to like them, and I want them to grow and be successful, get promotions. I want them to look their best. If they have long hair and they want to, they cut it, oh my goodness, well, compliment them and tell them that they did. That's a good sign. All right, now then, I believe the next one we're going to have to speed up just a bit here. But the next one is, How can I be sure that he really loves me? Of course, this is a woman. So let's go on. How can I be sure he really loves me? Well, the way he looks at you is one of those indications. Um, it, it's a warm, fuzzy feeling when a man looks at you with love in his eyes, and you can tell it really is. He wants to give to you. Remember, I talked about love being giving and not receiving. It's so he gives to you. Maybe he brings you a rose once in a while. Maybe he brings a box of chocolates once in a while. For no reason other than the fact that he wanted to. That was something showing you that he loves you. How about the third one? He treats you like a priority. Are you number one in his life? That's a very important thing. Yeah, loving them means they treat you with priority. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to do everything you want him to do. But he's going to try, maybe. And if he doesn't want to do something, he's going to have a good reason for it. So listen to him and see what he says. That's important. He wants to immerse himself in your life. Does he call you once a day, maybe, or more? Does he want to be with you every day or close to it? Something like that. He treats you with a priority. He wants to immerse himself in your life. He wants to be a part of your life. He really sees you. He doesn't just love you, he loves things about you. He might touch your hair. Love your hair. He loves the things about you. I think that's another touching, welcoming feeling when you know that he loves the way you look, or the way you sing, or whatever. Let's go on to the next slide. It's the rest of this one here. Okay. Your happiness is just as important to him as his own. So he wants to make you happy. One of the things in my book, The Difference Between Men and Women chapter, is if a man thinks he can't make you happy, he's not going to even try. And he's not going to be attracted, and he's not going to call you. So that could be reason why John didn't call you, is he doesn't think that he can make you happy. And maybe, perhaps he's right. The next one is he misses you when you're apart. Nice when somebody says, I miss you. But if the man follows and does all these other things and he says he misses you, then you know that he's loving you. He keeps you in the loop. Keeps you in the loop. Well, does he let you know that, I got doctor's appointments on Monday and Thursday next week? And so I'll be busy. You know that I'm going out with my friends tomorrow night. Yeah, but how about we go out the next night? He keeps you in the loop. He lets you know what's going on in his life so that you are connected a bit, some way. At least you know kind of where he is that night. He's there for you, even when it's inconvenient for him. Have you ever had a flat tire? Who do you call? And you call him, and he's not watching a show. So it's inconvenient for him to come and help you. But you know what? If he loves you, he's going to be there as fast as he can. Another one is he doesn't give up. He keeps trying to get you to go out with him, trying to keep you in the loop, he doesn't give up. And then the last one, you don't worry about how he feels. You just know. So now the man, how does a man know if a woman loves him? Well, the next slide then. How do I know she really loves me? Okay, here's a long list. She supports your passions. She wants to get to know your friends. She's pleasant with your family. She compliments you all the time. She's passionate about you. She's patient with you. She's eager to discuss the future with you. And she openly communicates with you. And we'll go on to the next slide. You have arguments. You're going to disagree, but they are had with intention of fixing things, not blaming the other person for this or that, but talking about the things that are bothering you, the bad habits, whatever, and fixing the issues. The next one is she doesn't try to change you, and she does little things for you. Little things for you. Her friends have taken an interest in you, and if her friends like you, then that's a very good sign that she loves you. And she's not judgmental towards you at all. She's not going to be critical of this or that, or wanting this or that to change or whatever. But she compromises with you. And two people are never going to totally agree all the time. I read somewhere once that if two people agreed with each other all the time, then one of them wasn't necessary. That's a good something to think about, I think. But anyway, she compromises, and compromises is a big part of relationships. It's a big part of loving another person. It's compromise. And what does that word mean? That's a good question. It means talking about the issues, talking about them without blaming, and try to come together on an agreement. There's a song. You start walking your way, and I'll start walking mine, and we'll meet in the middle. And that's what compromising is. And then the last one, you just feel that she loves you. You know that she loves you. All right, let's bring this up to an end here. And love is a bridge. It's a lot of things, and it takes time, effort, and work. But one thing about finding the one is that love should be easy together. It should be comfortable together. And you should be able to talk about things together and work through and find the compromises that you have to on the big things. Love does not happen from reading a profile on a dating site, looking at the photos and talking on the phone back and forth. I'm sorry. If somebody tells you on social media, anywhere, that they're in love with you on the second date, or within this, even within the first, week, then that's a pretty good indication that they're a scammer. if you've met them online and have not met them in person. That's for sure. We're going to talk about what holds that bridge together in the next few weeks. So you see, one side of the bridge is the women, the other side is the man, and love. You see the train coming through. Love is crossing that bridge. But what is holding that bridge up? We're going to talk about that in the weeks to come. Well, let's talk about a little bit about the weeks to come. Next week, I have a guest coming. He's my dance teacher. He's been teaching dance for over 40 years, he said, I think 41 or something. His name is Jerry Wright, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him about dance. Now, learning to dance in the rain is what I did when I took up dancing after about 6 months in grieving. And dancing has been my life, my lifeblood the last 6 years, because that's where I had met all my friends. That's where I got help moving forward with my life was through my dancing. And I just met Jerry a year ago. And when I finally found a partner wanting to learn the ballroom dance. And I really enjoy taking dance lessons with Jerry. And I hope you will enjoy listening and to our conversation next week about activities. And that's what dance is. It's an activity. It's an exercise. It's lots of things too. And then a week down the road, Pastor Carl is going to come back again and talk about love some more. And then in February, I have a guest coming in that going to be a surprise. So I was talking with her last night, and I'm enjoying it. Here in the next slide, you see what learning to dance has done for me. The podcast is called the same thing as my book, which offers strategies to help you cope with life struggles. And then my second book is Scams, over 150 different scams to help you save money. So come and learn and share, cry, laugh, love, and dance with me in the next sessions. I thank you very much for being a part of my show today, and I hope to see you next week. My website is two of them. ShelbyWagnerAuthor.com is my author website, and Learning to Dance in the Rain has a podcast of my first 2 episodes. And thank you again for visiting. And if you want to, that's enough, Rebel, no more. Yeah, this was my first PowerPoint presentation. I hope it didn't tell you too much about it, but and first time I put it up on a show like this. I really appreciate Rebel for helping me with the mechanics of the show, and I think Talk 4 TV for allowing me to have an enjoyable hour chatting with you here. See you next time, and dance. Dancing in the street, dancing in the Legion. That's for most of our American Legion, or that's UFW, Eagles. All of those have dances around here most weekends. So once more, I say thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.